Hey, welcome back everybody. Some more updates. We're getting progress done here. We're actually at a point now where I'm starting to finally put stuff together and make some progress on this whole thing. And it looks kind of like a little bit of a cluster, but you know, hey, that's kind of what it is. I'm trying to make about 1 million things fit into a space made for about 100 things. But either way, we're making progress. So what I've been working on is getting the wiring done. I've got the electronics tray completed. The only thing that is missing on that is the data wires for my added on data recorder module. I've got those marked. I've got to get them sent out and terminated, and they'll send them back, and then I'll be able to go ahead and run those. But aside from that, all of the wiring is in place. The PDM is programmed. All the wiring is pinned and connected. And I haven't tested anything yet, but I'm pretty confident everything's going to work. I've got one side of the car mostly done. I don't have the engine compartment done yet, but I do have everything going up to it. And I don't have any of the plumbing done yet, but the plumbing's going to be one of the last things that I do, so it'll be a bit before you see any of that. But let me show you what I got here. Again, it's a mess, but hey, you know, it is what it is. So what we got here, we got our electronics tray. And if you can look here, yeah, it's quite a cluster. I got a lot of stuff going a lot of different places. But believe it or not, everything has a function here, and there's nothing here that's not getting used. Getting everything figured out was the hardest part. Deciding where the inputs were going to go on here, what the outputs were going to be, then making sure everything is hooked up. Running the power cables, data cables, all of that stuff, because I've got some information running in here, information wires. I've got my remote record, I've got the dash cable, I've got the download cables into my USB ports for both the ignition and the data recorder right here. What's nice about those, I'll be able to come over here, and instead of having to take the cowling off to access all that stuff, I just pop these out right here, and I'm good to go. Ignition and then data recording. You can see my dash, it's all done, looking good right there. Got all my switches in, everything's all wired. If everything was hooked up right now to power, I could push anything on here and get it to function the way that it needs to function. So we're pretty good there. As far as the steering wheels are going, I mentioned in a previous video I have 2 different steering wheels because there's going to be 2 people driving this car. So here's one, and this is what I've done for the steering wheels. I've just got a 6-pin Deutsch connector. I'm only using 5 of them, but that's what I'm using here. So I've got all of the buttons going into a Deutsch connector, and I don't know if you see it up under here or not. Kind of, let me see if I can get some light on it here. There we go. You can kind of see a Deutsch connector down in here, right about where my finger's at right there. So that guy right there, he's going to be for the steering wheel. All we got to do to swap them out is take one steering wheel out, put the other one in, and just plug it in or unplug it. You can see I've got my wiring routed right here and secured up. I got my shifter mount made. It's kind of crude. It doesn't look the greatest, but it's nice and solid, and it does what I need it to do. So it's there. Not fancy, but it doesn't have to be. Nice thing is I still got my handbrake on this side right here. I shortened the handle a little bit. And I bent it outwards just a little bit. This is not my primary brake, this is a secondary brake, but I've got it there. I got my shifter handle nice and free right here. This is the shifter that I prefer to use. It's a Precision Performance Products. I think those are about the best shifters you can get on the market. Some people like the other style. These mounts here were originally for a B&M Pro Stick or something like that. I can't remember what it was. Which is a very popular shifter. It was very solidly mounted in here, and it worked pretty well, but I don't like that particular shifter. It's just a preference. It's a great shifter, it's just a preference. I don't like it. But the other issue that I had with it is how far down it was mounted. When it was in first gear right here, I had to pull the handle way down alongside of me, and I didn't particularly care for that. And then this one here is a true one-handed reverse lockout. You don't have to ever take your hand off the shifter, and you don't need another hand because you got this guy right here, and then you got the trigger. The other one, you kind of had to fumble with a switch that was up in front of the shifter itself. The only thing that I have left here to hook up on this guy is I got to put my shift solenoid right here. I have an air solenoid that's going to be going on there. And I've got one wire that needs to go to it, which will tie into this wire right here. And then it just needs to go to a good ground. That'll actuate my air shifter. And then, of course, I need to run the air line over to the bottle, which that's not a big deal. That won't take but just a minute once I have everything hooked up. I just can't find the brass that I got to hook this up and plumb it with. So I got to find that so I can finish hooking that up. Aside from that, yeah, it's still a mess up underneath here. But we're getting there. When I go to plumb this thing, I'm going to be putting 3 bulkhead fittings right here, right along the firewall. Get a better view of it right here. Those 3 fittings are going to go here. I'm going to have one coming off the bypass regulator here on the pump. It's not installed on it yet. I've still got to install it, and so that'll move this here. So this fuel line will be pretty short. I'm going to have a -12 fuel line right here coming off that filter going up to my main fuel pump. And then there will be a -10 coming back that goes into the top of the fuel cell as my return. And then this one right here also has a return, but it's a -8. So I'll have a -8 and a -12 return on there. I still need to wire in my fuel sending unit right here, but I'm not going to do that until I start mounting the body panels, because I have to put an access door in the body panel to get to my filler, which is right here. And then the LED, which this connects to, that lights up whenever the sending unit says the tank is full, I'm going to attach that to the bottom side of the door with one of the screws that holds it in place. So whenever you open it up, the little LED is right there. And then as you're filling it, the LED will come on when it's full, and then that'll be good right there. I'm going to do that so the body panels stay removable. I'm going to use a Deutsch connector on that. So if I have to pull the body panel, I don't have to clip any wires or anything. I just unplug them and go from there. So far, so good. We're making good progress. We still got a bunch to do, but we're getting there. Like I said, we got all of this wired up here just about. The relay, small relay in between the 2 contactors is for my alternator. We are going to try to put the alternator on this car because I have a lot more room between the frame rails on this car than I had between my frame rails on the other one. And the alternator should comfortably sit like right about here. Yeah, I got a lot of junk in the tray right here. So the alternator should fit fairly comfortably right here. This wire here is for my CAN bus bar for my O2 sensors. They're going to go, I'm going to attach the CAN bus bar right here, my O2 sensor wiring right here, and then of course it'll get run back, and or my O2 modules go up here as well, and then the sensor wire I'm going to get run back so it can be tied in with the headers and stuff. So again, making progress. Got all this secured up here. Don't have all of this secured because it's not terminated yet, but I've got the important stuff all secured and everything right now. So definitely making progress, getting there slowly. But just wanted to show you guys where I was at with things. Over the next couple weeks, going to be putting in a lot of time here on the weekends. I may try to do some videos, time-lapse videos or something on me working on the car, but right now my focus is just trying to get stuff done. Let me show you a couple more things that I got. I run a Star vacuum pump, but for the last several years I've been running it straight off the valve cover into a catch can. And the problem with that is Star vacuum pumps don't work well with oil. This engine combo, the only place that I could put the bung on the valve cover, it ended up pulling about a quart of oil a pass, and as a result I wasn't pulling the kind of vacuum I needed to pull on the crankcase. So I'm fixing that. First off, I'm going to weld that hole up, and I'm going to move the bung on the valve cover to the other side. It's going to get near the top of the valve cover, out of the way of any splash oil, any accumulating oil or anything like that. And I went ahead and got a new style bung that has a filter in it to help filter out any oil that comes in there. But then the other thing that I did is I went ahead and got Star's newest, latest and greatest oil and air separators. So I got this guy right here. This one here is my oil separator. And then I've got the breather tank also. If I can find it right here. Okay, right here. This right here is my breather tank. So what'll happen is on the oil and air separator, the vacuum pump or the bung on the valve cover will get plumbed to one of these guys. You can see how it's marked right there, pump in the engine. So the vacuum pump will get plumbed to one, the engine will get plumbed to the other. And what this does is it pulls the air through here, through this guy, and it separates the oil from the air, so you're just pulling straight air into the pump. And then when you discharge from the pump, it's going to go into this guy, and he's got a filter that goes on top. I just don't have it installed yet. But it'll go on top of this guy right here. And so that way, I'm not pulling oil through my vacuum pump anymore. I am going to be rebuilding it, and I'll show a video when I do that. They're real super simple. I just need to take it apart, clean it out, and get that all figured out. But aside from that, that's where we're at. Oh, one other thing I wanted to show you. So in this guy right here, and also I believe in the, I think in this guy, I don't remember, I have to open them up to check. They've got foam. And it's a really coarse foam. It's kind of like what you see in a fuel cell, as a baffle to try to help filter out more oil and stuff like that from getting in the air. It works really, really good. It's easily replaceable, but there's one problem with it. It dissolves when exposed to methanol. And since I run methanol, that's not really a good thing. So what I'm going to be doing instead is I'm going to be using this stainless steel mesh right here, and I can get more of that. I've got some more at work. I'm going to put that in place of the foam that's in there, and so I won't have to worry about the foam dissolving and breaking up and going through the system or anything like that. So it's just a preventative thing, and that's just going to make it easier. So anyway, like I said, just some updates, let you know where I'm at with things. We're getting there, making progress. We got a goal in mind. We're going to get there. Just going to take a little bit more effort and a little bit more time. So hope you guys are enjoying this, seeing what I'm doing and how it's coming along. Please do me a favor, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let's get this YouTube channel to grow a little bit. Let's get some exposure up there. We got a big year coming up at Alaska Raceway Park, and I've got a lot planned, and I'm hoping some good things happen. Not going to really talk about them just yet, but we'll see what happens. But let's get this shared. Let's get this out there so people can see what's going on, and let us know that we got some fast cars up here, some really fast cars. Mine's one of them. Mine's one of the faster cars up here. So, you know, get other people to come up here and come play with us. So we'd love it. But anyway, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.